I used to look at Tumblr websites and used to see a lot of very skinny white girls on there, and I thought that was what I should look like. I decided that I would begin starving myself in order to lose as much weight as possible. It slowly snowballed into full-blown eating disorder where binge eating, starving myself, and then getting rid of it was a cycle that just dominated my life for the last 3-4 years of being a teenager. I look back and yes, I was skinny and yes, I was much slimmer than I am now, but at what cost? I started more consciously to think about my weight and how I compared to my sister. I mean, did you notice anything?
Like, even though I'm your twin, and being that close to you, I still didn't notice because it's so easy for people with eating disorders to be so manipulative. When we were younger, no, I think you should say the point.
Okay, as a twin, you're constantly compared, constantly. People will kind of stand you next to each other. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, wait.
Yeah, wait, which one's which?
Yeah.
Who's the smarter one?
Yeah, and then
who's good at maths? Who likes English?
Yeah, exactly. And every single time they'd say, "Who's bigger?" It's like, "Oh, Georgia, you're bigger, aren't you?" And
Georgia's
Chelsea's the
bigger
small one.
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone
hearing
did
that constantly, like for your whole life, you are the bigger one. You know it. You can see it. As a teenager, and
with that on top
of everything, starting to realize, okay, maybe I need to lose some weight. I would always look at you. Like, I would always look at and you always be like, "Why are you staring at me?"
Would I?
Yeah, don't you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I remember one time I was looking at your stomach. I was looking at it and you're like, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
You and me had our own little convos about it. Sometimes, like, kind of aggravated arguments, just trying to get you to, it's going to sound really horrible, like see sense basically, because obviously your thoughts were all your own.
Yeah. That I was just lost. I was like, I need someone to talk to about this. Who's going to help me?
Yeah. I don't think parents want their kid to have that stigma of a mental illness, because it is a scary thing. Sometimes you want to interpret it in different ways. Like, you can easily put yourself into a denial as to why someone is acting differently. Yeah. You might not want to put it down, especially in the black community, you might not want to put it down to a mental illness.
Fuck that, like that's exactly what needs to change.
Yeah.
I never saw black women on the Thinspiration websites ever. It was all just teenagers or young white women who were, stick thin, no meat on their flesh whatsoever. Because there was no one I could look to externally who I saw, okay, maybe I want to look like them in terms of a black woman. It's just, if you're skinny, then I'll probably want to look like you. I wanted to be skinny. I felt maybe that I was socially dispositioned because I was black, because all you see, the only, it's a bad word, but representation of anorexia and eating disorders was with non-black people. So I thought, can I even do this?
There is that stigma of sort of having to look like a typical anorexic or bulimic person, or fat person even, or a skinny person, or whoever.
Yeah. You think you're being a bad anorexic or like bad at bulimia because you're not skinny enough. Like, there's no way anyone's going to believe you that you're ill, which is part of the reason why I never thought I was for so long. Yeah. Because I didn't look. But did you ever admit to your family?
I think with my mum, we spoke about it and I said, I think you think that I should be sad about the way I look.
Yes.
You're afraid that I'll get bigger and you're afraid that people will look at me in a way that you probably assume that I see myself as well. But that's not the case. I'm okay. I'm happy with the way I look.
If I'd spoken to you whilst I was going through my eating disorders as a teen, I'd probably fantasize about how it might be really fun to be free, to feel so confident.
I've not always been a confident person.
Right.
I picked up from body positive activists or models. So that was something that I didn't really know to do myself or know how to do until I saw it on the internet. Yeah. I think the first time I'd visibly said, openly said, I identify or I see myself as fat, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
People seem to be very, very uncomfortable with that idea. Seeing body types sort of reflected in a wider space that match yours is huge.
Definitely wouldn't find this, 6 years ago, black women expressing themselves in lingerie that suits them and being so comfortable in it and so happy. I love it.
And then just seeing images like those makes me think, I don't know, just makes things feel a bit more inclusive.
Yeah.
Like they all look gorgeous in different ways. One thing I always get as well is that people assume I can sing, both because I'm black and fat, and it's annoying because I can, but so I'm always like, no.
If there's a path, I will always take the harder road. So I probably saw me having this mental illness as part of my struggle, something that I had to do. And if I would go back and tell my 14, 15-year-old self, I'd just say, you can struggle any way you want, but just don't struggle this way. It's not who you are or not who you ever want to be.